Hello everyone, let me know if you can see and hear me okay, because it's been a while since I've used this software. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if it's clear enough. Is it even this mic? I think it's this mic. 5x5, excellent, there we go. Right, well currently I'm rendering a 3-day video which is halfway through. I was hoping to get it done before we started, and that'll go in that bottom, that blank space below me. So I'll get a video on there of the flares we've seen so far. Now, we start at a weird moment, because if you look at the solar activity past 2 hours, it ceased to give me data at 8:30. Okay, and the latest, let me just make sure, the latest image from the sun, from the helio viewer in the center, is 8:32. Okay, so I don't know what's happened, but in the last half hour, signals have all dropped off. That could mean there's going to be a huge spike. It might have already shot out. I'm not sure. This is the area of interest, obviously, here. And this was it at 8:30. It's like the eye of Sauron. We'll put that there and we'll keep that refreshing. Ominous, yes. Everything expires, including us. It means we are doomed, says World Survivalist. Potentially. Your kit's been fired. Okay. Big flare. Well, I don't know, Justin. That's usually... It's happened before when we've had a big flare where we've had nothing like this. And then it's kicked back in. Then it's give us the reading afterwards. We've also had it where it's just been a gap. And then all of a sudden everything kicks back in. So I'm just hoping, if you look at the percentage flare probability chances at the bottom there, it's 40%. I'll try and keep up with the chat the best I can. It's, oh hang on, I've got it on top chat. Turn it to live chat, that helps. There we go. So I use various sites. I use Solar Ham, World Survivalist. I use Space Weather Live. I use Space Weather, and this is Helio Viewer. Helio Viewer connects to all the different observatories and instruments and the different measurements. So you could, everything you see on like Solar Ham and all the other sites is acquired from here. I'll give you an example. If I switch this over, the measurement, you'll see another familiar picture that you see on all them sites. So we can flick between all these different types of instruments. I just like 304 because it looks like a fiery ball of sun. Cheers, Brian. We're not so live update. Our last update is 8:30. So if anybody's still got the sun wherever they are, you know, if you've got a pair of sun observation glasses, let me know if you can see a giant flare sticking out of it. It would be helpful to know. Yes, questions in capitals more so this time, guys, because I'm using the different software, so it doesn't pre-highlight them for me. Let me make that chat a bit wider on my screen, and I'll try not to miss anything. Thank you for the £2 super chat, Brian. Much appreciated. The stream is monetized, but you shouldn't get any adverts during it. I've turned it off. I've set it to manual, so it means they won't play adverts during the stream. So, which is good. Good for you, not good for bank balance. Could we not get raw data down in the future? How do you mean? Elaborate. Let's see if this is refreshing yet. Nope, the latest image coming through to Helio Viewer is still 8:32. Let's have a look how the video render's going. 75% on the video render, and we'll hopefully have a lovely video to show us the flares for the last few days. Wish that sun was closer, so cold in a quick shop. Thank you, Chronicles, for the £5. I assume it's a super sticker. I can't see it on my screen, but either way, it's much appreciated. Is it earth facing, Mike? Yes, it's right. It's earth facing now. The X8 that was hit out wasn't earth facing, but it would be a glancing blow. Now, don't take that as a gimme. Oh, it's fine. It's glancing. They can be quite detrimental as well. A glancing blow does not mean a get out of jail free card. So we will see. I expect over the next few days to have some auroras and stuff like that. I have checked Aurora Watch before I came in. We've got nothing at the moment, so obviously because it takes a while to get here. So, but I'll keep you updated with that as well. Hopefully we'll get some cool footage of that. Work at the moment. Hope everyone's good. Hi Tez, good to have you here. Hello Miss Worm, good to have you here too. An evil girl. Lots of green and blue names. That's what I like. That's what I like. Does the sun revolve around Mike? No, just everything else revolves around me. If you ask the missus. But every time we've had high solar activity, we've also had quite intense weather activity. So there could be a correlation there. While that's rendering, let's have a look at a few cool little features on this. So we'll show you the sunspots. So obviously you can't see through the surface, but that is the actual openings of the sunspots here, which is cool. And obviously this is the most active region, these three here. We have got where is the prediction models? I don't think the prediction models are running. Oh yeah, there we go. ASAP's not running. What's Amos saying? Amos, that's usually 0 point something percent, is 9.52 for an X. So let's see. They're all pointing down there, so that's a different one. Yeah, I use ASAP, which is like an AI powered one, which is actually really good for the predictions, but they come in when the new data comes in, and obviously nothing's refreshed since 8:32, which has kind of got me a little worried. Only a little bit. Thank you, Dave, for the £5 super chat. Hopefully we still have power to cash this in at the end of the month. And oh, I can see the super stickers on this. That's good. You're number one. Thank you. And bravo from Rachel UK. Thank you for the super stickers. Really appreciate that. You said it's size of Carrington event. So I'll tell you what, I will get that up for you now. Let me give me a second and I'll pull the data that shows you the Carrington. That one. That one. Can we drag that onto there? Yes, we can. There we go. So this is a direct correlation from the last image. So this is only done daily. So it has actually grown slightly since this. But the grey is what Carrington sketched based on what he could see. And obviously the orange is the sunspot that we're monitoring at the moment. So you can see it's not a Carrington event, it's a Carrington size sunspot, which could trigger a Carrington size event. That's the whole point. Don't think I'm on here going, it's Carrington event happening now, because I wouldn't have bothered monetizing the stream now, would I? Yes. So that's the correlation there. Oh, there we go. We should have our movie. Give me 2 ticks and let me see if I can get this downloaded. Oh, it's left all the predictions on. Bastard. That's not good. Right, I'm gonna have to do that again. Let's do full viewport. Turn off them. There we go. Right, okay. We're going to have to re-render the video. It put tags over the top of it, which we didn't want to have on there. The prediction percent chance tags. The sun has stopped, yes. The sun has stopped giving us readings. It's typical, isn't it, when you're when you're going live. Like, I'll go live at 9, and at 8:30 the sun goes, "No, I've done playing for the day, Mike. Thank you." I'm literally this. Well, the image in the middle is from Helo Viewer, and it's always the latest image from the sun, and it usually refreshes automatically. But okay, there we go. We've got a little bit of data from 47. This is still not caught up on the solar activity past 2 hours. Well, that's slightly changed there. Does that look like it's emitting? I can't tell. I don't think it is. Let's check 131. Eventually. Oof. Yeah, that does look like it's kicking something there, doesn't it? Okay, so it's bumped to 847. So we'll wait for this to catch up as well. Yeah, because that stopped then. Interesting. Right. Render that video. What's going on here? Oh, cheers, Sapper. Good to see you, bud. Watching this on a testosterone car park. What's a testosterone car park? Okay. Sounds like you're having a bad time of it, Sapper. Hope it sorts out soon. Get onto them veteran charities and stuff. Get in touch with all of them. They're your best bet. Right, 2 minutes ago, that's rendered. Let us see. Show me something. Okay, let's download that. Get it on the screen. Bear with me, guys. You can still claim you see if you're homeless, I believe. Yeah, you can. Used to be able to do DWP office for your home address. That's no longer the case. Right. Let's see if we can get this on screen. Media source. Okay, when I put this on, it might go giant. I'll have to resize it on the screen. I don't have a fancy studio to do it for. There we go. That's a time lapse over the last 2 days. So you can see every one of those like flashes like that. See where it pixels and goes out? That is one of the flares each time. let's pop that down the bottom there. There we go. Okay. So that's showing us that. Let's get the 131 on there. Oh, we've got 131 on the top left, haven't we? So let's get 171. There we go. So we've got all three now. Whew. Right, sorry, I am going to miss the chat a lot on this because, like I say, it doesn't auto. It's not the. I'm not using StreamYard. I'm using OBS, so it's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to keeping up with comments and stuff. Let's pop that there. There we go. Right. What's going on? It is one of the most active regions we've seen this solar cycle, kicking out some of the strongest flares we've seen this solar cycle. We're still not caught up on this. Let me check the same thing on my phone. Make sure it's not just a refresh issue. There we go. Reload that. Nope. Even on the phone, refreshed. You can't see a bloody thing on that. There we go. Even on the phone refreshed, it's still cut off at that point. So we don't know what is going on at that point. Got a CME warning there. That is a bit out of the scope of where we're looking. AMOS is 9.52. Interesting. No problems, Evil. Thanks for jumping in. Are we still talking about... Yay for solar maximum, little red hen. Can we try and stay on topic, please, guys? If possible, it'd be helpful. I was just saying that, Tez, that somewhere in the... You're saying somewhere in the... somewhere a volcano erupts. I was saying we always seem to have an extreme of weather to follow it. I just want this solar activity to catch up. I don't know what's going on. Let's check solar ham. I don't know if solar ham has... There you go. I don't know if it has any timestamps on it. There we go. Second, third, okay. Solar Ham has got a timestamp of 9:08. On one of theirs. That's from Suvi 304. How long does it take for a flare to reach Earth? It is very dependent on the power. So it's the CME we're looking at, obviously the CME to hit Earth. And it can be 2 or 3 days, generally. But they believe something as strong as the current event was hours rather than days, and could be anywhere between 8 and 12 hours. So it all depends on the power and the prevailing solar winds and stuff, and how many follow it up and how many precede it. Because if loads of small ones precede it, it kind of clears the way for a faster track as well. So yeah, you're looking, let's say, a really powerful one, anything from 12 hours to 20 hours kind of thing, but usually it's 2 or 3 days. So either way, we'll have enough time to go, oh crap, that's massive and it's coming this way. Let's unplug things and find the fire extinguishers. So we've got time to do that at least. Yes, I know, Miss Worm, and I've always been skeptical of it, but since I started doing like observations of it, it's just all the time. It's too much of a, I want to say too much of a coincidence. I know that sounds like a crazy conspiracy type thing to say, but it does feel like too much of a coincidence. Let me 3D the SDO. I'm not sure if it will. There we go. That's pretty cool. Pi doily starting to kick now. Oh, with that sun image. All right. When's it due? When I don't know when's it due. When's what due? Look at these. Look at this filament here on the left. Just sloshing around. Activity down the bottom right there as well. We're not even talking about this activity, which is here as well. If you look at the sunspots, it's starting to form here down the left as well. I want the ASAP prediction to come in. Come on. We could jump through time here a bit, so we could show you the last couple of hours. That is so weird on the solar activity past 2 hours. I don't know what is going on here. Let me just interact with this a second. Might look a bit weird on your screen for a second. Yeah, it's definitely stopped according to them. Interesting. Oh, thank you, little red hen. Much appreciated for the cool super sticker. I like seeing the super stickers. I can't see them when I'm on the other software. It's got like shades on a controller. I like it. Thank you very much. Really appreciated. $9.99 US. Love it. What else is going on in the chat while I'm trying to figure this stuff out? Volume's a bit low. It's not. I'm talking quiet, so it's as good as we can probably get at the moment. Not turning the gain up too far. How about that? Any better? Bring it up to me. That better. I've got. There's people in bed, so you know. Bible says lots of strange weather events and cosmic disturbances towards end times. Let's hope not. Miss Worm, there's sound evidence of earthquakes and volcanoes, says Bandigan. I don't know which total crustal displacement is possible, but definitely I think we could get short jolts, which could be nasty enough. Just telling you what Google says. Ronnie Rubble. So if I've got it right, a flare is a burst of light from the sun taking 8 minutes to reach us. The CME is a bunch of plasma particles that takes days. Both can wipe out electric. The CME is what we're bothered about. A flare is not going to reach us like the actual filament, the actual flare. Like, what's the Nicolas Cage film? Knowing. That would be ridiculous. That's like an X million, all right? So the chances of that are next to nothing. The chances of a CME, of a magnitude hitting us and taking out the electric, is worryingly high percentage. And this is not just me and other people in crazy tinfoil hats saying it. This is scientists, Harvard studies, all sorts. Essentially, what you're saying, Ronnie, is correct, but yeah, the flames are not going to touch us. Oh, well, I hope not, because there's definitely no prepping for that one, unless you've got a factor 7 million sun cream lying about. Mike, so this could be the last program. It could be. You never know. You never know. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope we get a really pretty light show and nothing else. In that way, the hotspots of solar activity explode out from the surface. Thank you, Willow Tree. Sorry, I've not eaten. Come on. Oh, 902. So we're getting data through on this main image now. That's the latest image. 902 UTC. So it's running behind, but it is bringing it through. We've got more AMOS predictions, which are staying the same. Still no ASAP. Not much else data-wise coming through on that at the moment. Let's see how that looks on... Can't remember seeing it that bright, except when it's like flaring. There's a good picture. Oh, so you could see a filament there. So that's actual fire kind of thing. On Knowing with Nicolas Cage, they were reckoning like one of those to reach us. But I mean, this is the scale of Earth. This is a actual scale what Earth would be to the sun. So you can see we'd definitely get crisped by any of that. I'll leave that there. Back to Donkey and Cat then, says Band again. Yes, I mean, to be honest, this is the rabbit hole I went down when I stepped up prepping into a more serious level, not just 30 days kind of thing. And it was the rabbit hole of this that I went down. And it's not a case of like watching crazy bug-eyed preppers telling you something, it was studies and doctors and professors and all these people that saying, yeah, it's quite likely to happen. Yeah, it's overdue. If anything, it's overdue, they say. It is beautiful. The sun is, I love the video rendering. Thank you, Miss Worm, for taking people away from the live. Shocking. No, I'm joking. It's fine. I read that the UK government classes EMP event from a hostile actor as very low, but EMP event from space weather as medium to high risk in the next 5 years. I mean, that's probably right, but I mean, I assume you're saying EMP event from hostile actor is like your nuclear, it's an electromagnetic pulse. An EMP event is not from space weather, it's a CME, so it's different. The main difference being that you need to know as users is this will be fine with a CME. Not fine. Your cell towers is going to be knackered. Your power is going to be knackered, but it will still be on. If it's off and all your small electronics are off, it's more than likely man-made that's done it. Cheers, Miss Worm. Nice retraction. Nice retraction. That hole could be a good few miles across. Good few miles? Well, if we're talking about this one, there's Earth. So it's only about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 15, 20 times. It's a love heart, though. Look at that. There we go. The sun loves us. That's see, generally when I've looked at stuff like this in the past, and used to have quite a few people that joined me for these who were regulars, you see that kind of inward swirling that we're seeing over to the left here, like building in usually before quite an emission, So I don't know. We shall see. I don't know what's going on with the solar activity on Space Weather Live. It's not very live at the moment. Let me see if I can check it on here again. There's a child trying to escape its room upstairs. I can hear it. In respect of do you mean in view of this, we're here, like, so well, I think it's about here technically if we came this way, so that's why over here, so we're here. When it was over here, it was a glancing blow. As it gets into this center, this next 5 to 7 days, that's directly Earth facing, but approximately ish. Chat's active tonight. I can't see how many people are in, how many likes or anything tonight. So somebody's going to have to keep me updated with that because it doesn't tell you on this software. How are you seeing the sun when it's nighttime? Magic. The magic of satellites. I recall the three Atlas fired a laser into the sun before going behind the sun. Yeah, all right. If that's what you think. I'm not sure about that one. I can't quite agree with that. Grump says, you think Carrington would take out the government infrastructure, or have they made provision for the continuity? There's probably paperwork in place for continuity of government. How up to date it is another story completely. We know what this government's like when it comes to, oh, it'll be fine. That's probably one of the budgets they cut, Grump. So, yes, I have no doubt some of the elites will have their ways of continuing, but unlikely. I need a Faraday blanket when I sleep tonight. Why? Are you made of electric? Or is that a pacemaker? Or don't forget CME won't affect pacemakers either, anything like that. It's anything attached to the grid because it uses the power cables, the power lines. That's the antennas that capture the signal. How often does the sun rotate? How many days is it? I can't remember. The rotation cycle is. I should know this. $25 days. So it's 20. This gives you a scale thing. I mean, I usually estimate, I can say like 5 or 7 days it's going to go across there or there to there kind of thing. It's 25 days here across the middle of the sun. Near the poles, it's 30 days. So there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of the scale. So yeah, I've got a little scale here. Here, going across the middle of the sun here would be 25 days on the equator. If we go about 40% up, 26 days, another 30% up, and we're at 28 days, then a bit more, 31, then right up the top here, 35 days. So there you go. I had to look it up, though. I did have to look it up. 111 viewers and 50 likes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all being here. Any questions, get them in by all means. What's the ETA on it? I just no idea. So the glancing blow. Hang on, I think I had that up before. Give me a second here. Oh, I want to show you that photo as well. That's an awesome photo. So the glancing blow will be around February 5th to 6th. CME is expected to do a G1 class geomagnetic storm, but that could have cannibalized on the way down. So don't be surprised if that jumps up in scale. It's not uncommon for it to them to predict a G1 and it coming at G3, G4, etc. So I need to get one of these telescopes. This image is awesome. Ooh. How cool is that image? That was taken on the 2nd by Eduardo. I'm going to butcher this. Schamberger Pupier. From Argentina. That's a cool photo. You shouldn't have ads, Dora. It's the set to manual, so there shouldn't be video ads playing at any point. I've lost my buttons. Oh, much appreciated for the $9.99 super chat there. Prepper70, that's absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. Sponsored ads. They're not sponsored ads at all, Miss Worm. Don't tell fibs. Solar panels plugged into the grid are standalone. The latter should be fine, from my understanding. Yeah, I mean, the larger the panel, the more likely it is to capture something and potentially be damaged. So if you've got like these huge fields could be affected by it. It's essentially another form of aerial. But generally your household ones shouldn't be too bad. If, for example, we saw, let's say, our readings are back. Our readings are back on solar activity past 2 hours. Look at that. We just had a gap. The sun didn't exist for an hour, according to them. Anyway, I was saying, if we knew, like if we saw worst case scenario, let's say we saw an X20 and X30 Earth facing emit, right? We know with that kind of power, could be 12 hours, could be 15 hours, could be something like that. That's enough time to disconnect connections to the main. So disconnect the panels, disconnect stuff like that. Yeah, so that would be my understanding of it. Don't go and unplug anything right now. I don't think you need to at this stage. Touch wood. But yeah. It says sponsored on them, not sponsored by you. Well, no. I don't get sponsorships on this channel. I get emails from fake companies going, well, we'll sponsor your channel. Just send us your bank details or click this ominous link. Like, nope. Sorry. No dice. Where's this going? Like it's in the way. Yeah. So let me just interact with this and see what it's saying in between there. There we go. It disappears there and we've come back in. But that is an unusual phenomenon. Something like a phenomenon. Interesting. But at least, well, hopefully that's not like an X40 that's knocked that out for half an hour. I'm sure they'll catch up with the data soon and let us know if we are completely up the creek without said paddle. 2117 UTC image coming in on here now. Still that heart shape ish. Still no ASAP predictions. 40% down on this. On this left-hand side, though, over here, point the right way. At the bottom, there's the percent flare probability. When we've had things like the X8, X9 a couple of years ago, that X-class flare probability only went up to about 25-30%. So it's very mild. So that's quite, to see them all red means it should be quite active. But yes, there you go. Perfect. Brian's there. Just disconnect the MC4 cables. Not right now. If you know, I'll certainly let you know. Even if we're not going to have YouTube ever again and it won't matter, I will still make sure I get on here, do a live, do a video update, send messages out on Discord, do everything I possibly can to warn and shout and scream from the rooftops. Timu AdSense inclusions. Wow. What have you been looking for on Timu? That's shocking. Don't worry about the solar panels till Brian turns his off. Yeah. The sun is just trying to give us a big hug. Oh, I like that thinking. There you go. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens, says New City Prepper. Awesome. Hello, Norfolk. I don't think the government could react quick enough within 12 hours to help in a blow like this, knocking the world out of electricity. I mean, technically, what they should do is shut everything down. Technically, what they should do is shut everything down. Now, how long they would wait to do that, or if they would do that, is another story. But I'm saying I'd jump on and give you a warning, and obviously do that best I can. Well, you know, because even if they shut down the main power, we should have mobile signal for a short period and stuff like that. So yeah, they should shut everything down. So when we get hit, everything powered off, hopefully, and it might save some things. But then again, with this government, who knows? We can't even we release wrong prisoners. We can't look after our own borders. So, you know, I don't even know how to say it nicely. I was trying to think of a nice way to say it. The shit show continues, and no doubt it'll get a warning or somebody. They'll go, "No, it's all right." Actually, email the government so they know what to do. I've sent emails to the government before. They don't respond. They don't like me. Cheers, Norfolk. What would be the home fire risk of a new Carrington event? So during the Carrington event, the reports we had, multiple things happened. It wasn't a case of this happened to everyone. All right. Some operators, because all we had then was telegraph, Morse code kind of thing. So some operators got shocked. Some lines set on fire. Some terminals set on fire. Some were just going like the clappers without anyone touching it. It had massive effects on and pretty much destroyed that system. But that was the only thing with power cables back then, with cable, not power cables, but cables of that size that could capture the signal. So you magnify that to today, to the power lines that we have everywhere coming into our house, things like that. And I'm not, you know, one of your sockets might set on fire, but mine might not. I might get huge power surges. You just might go off straight away. It could be all different things. So we just want to be safe, and the fire safety is probably one of the key things I would say. 3 Dog Night Bushcraft. I like that name. We need proper practical people in charge. Never happen. Never happen. Shit show shenanigans. I like it. Evening, Steve. Should we duck and cover yet? Not yet. But we have got a mysterious gap in our data. I don't think there was an X-class flare in that mysterious gap. I don't think so anyway, so we shall see as we start getting more data through where that goes to. Let's see if we can refresh the main image here. Nope, we're still at the newest of 2117 UTC. Still no ASAP predictions. Zamos the same. 9.52, yep. Right. I'm waiting on Trump's invite to the US. Escape this hellhole. Listen, just he needs to take over, make the UK a new state of the United States, and then we can all have. We don't need green cards. We'll just have passports. Can you explain what a Carrington event or solar flare is for people that don't understand it? So a solar flare is it's a buildup of energy that ejects from the sun in the form of like these flaming filaments and stuff like that. But what that produces is a CME, which is a coronal mass ejection. That's what we're looking out for. They can also solar winds can also come when there's a coronal hole in the sun, and that emits down, and that can create the storms as well. The CME travels through, hits the magnetosphere, and basically that's what we see with the Northern Lights. Let me pull up a visualization. Might be better for you. Where's all the nice pretty diagrams gone? Okay, this will probably. How big's that? Oh, find a decent one. It's tiny. Large. Okay. Might get in trouble for this because it says licensable. We'll see. Okay. Can we all see the screen, kiddies? It's not in English, but you know. It's cutting it off. Anyway, you get the idea. I used to have a NASA audio of it. That woman always told it better. Is this the one? Nope, can't find it. Never mind. Yeah, so anyway. I've lost all the chat now trying to do that. Does it weaken our magnet field and lesser powered flare could have the same effect? So constant bombardment from CMEs does weaken the magnetic field around Earth, but it also charges it. It's also how it charges up again. So I need to find all my images. Yeah, it also does good things every so often, but it's constant bombardment does weaken it, which means more likely to have more detrimental effects, and it's why we're seeing the northern lights further and further south. Sorry, I'd have all these diagrams up and ready if it was if I'd have got in on time. But I've been at work all day. Why they're all tiny? Google doesn't like me. DuckDuckGo even. Anyway. In the previous video, did you say 6 to 7 days is the period it's going to be Earth facing? So if it emits in that time, then yes, that could affect us. That was just the rough estimate of how much this sunspot here is going to be facing us. Once it gets around the other side, then it's not facing us anymore, so it's not as effective. The CMEs that have already that come out, the flares, the X8, and the other ones are all glancing blows. Not sure how much aurora we'll get off them. That will be over the next day or two, probably the 4th and 5th for that. So tomorrow night, potentially, further north you are, the more likely it is because it's a glancing blow. But if we have a direct hit off one of them, then we'll see it very far south. When the Carrington event hit, we know how strong it was based on how low the northern lights were. And we know how low the northern lights were because there was even cave paintings and there was sketches and artists and stuff like that, depending on where in the world it was. Some people were still living in caves in places like in Africa and stuff. And there was paintings of it, but in civilized world, people thought the sun had come out because it was that bright in the middle of the night all of a sudden because of these northern lights and how far south they reached. Here, wet, sleet and snow. Kraken. Snowing in the Midlands too. Is it snowing? Oh, thank you for the £5. How's it going from Lorraine? It's going all right. We're okay at the moment. This is what happens. Mike starts streaming, nothing happens. As soon as I say, right, guys, I'm going to go to bed and turn it off, get hit by an X37 or something. You'll need SPF 50 billion in a CME. You won't. It's not the fire. Thank you, Miss One. There you go. Stick the Google in. I think me rambling is much more accurate than your copy and paste. For the 4 days to reach Earth is depending on the how many have preceded it, how many are after it, if it's cannibalized, the power of the actual emission in the first place. Like I say, in extreme cases, that could be hours instead of days. So don't think, oh, we've just seen an X20 face us. I've got 4 days. It's fine. Not a problem. That could be with us in 12 hours. That could be with us in 13, 14, 15 hours. Yeah. So it's definitely not a hard and fast rule. But average, because of the weakness that we have on some of these, or when it's a glancing blow and stuff like that, yes, you can look at 3 or 4 days depending on different factors. Multi-flare predictions there. Still 9.52. Still no ASAP. New image coming in. I saw that they could read their newspaper during that so much light. Yes. No problems, Mel. All in stone's throw of each other. We are dotted in most places. Need some elevator hold music while we're waiting. I don't know what you're arranging in the chat, but sounds like something for the Discord, that gentleman. Need beauty sleep. Not a problem. What are the numbers to look for, X class? How do you mean, like the scales? Let's pull up the larger data set from here. Choom. So, can we whack this on screen? Will you see this? You might see this. Yeah, it should be all right. So, oh, it's just cut off slightly there. Can we move that up? Yeah. I'll move that up there. So this is the X8.3 we saw the other day. And you can see just before the lovely red danger zone. And the corresponding R number on the side is the how strong the geomagnetic storm will be, predictions wise. So when we had the X8 the other day, that's borderline dangerous. Now, if that was directly Earth facing, that would worry me. Not because it's an X8 alone would not worry me. But we had an X8, and if we zoom into the area, we do this. There we go. So we had an X8, and then you look at the peaks. So the peak there again is X6, is X5, X1.54, and then an X2.84. And what that close together, they can cannibalize and become all build up together, become a larger CME. Not directly added, I think it's an order of magnitude, but technically that would make like an X12, X13, X14. So that would have potentially had me worried if that was directly Earth facing, that X8. If we had something like that now, and multiple of them back to back, that would be my biggest concern. There is theories that that could have been what the Carrington event was. Rather than one big wham, it could have been multiple, because they had no data or readings like this, only visuals. And it could have been multiple smaller ones, and then a big one, and then a couple of smaller ones that then all built up together as they approached Earth. Shocker diodes for my panels. It's worth specing the diodes for your fixed arrays. If they pop, your panels can be fixed. There you go. What is good or bad? Anything X10 and below, I would expect generally a light show, like pretty Northern Lights like we've had before. Yeah, as it builds up past that, it's an unknown factor. It's genuinely, we've had an X50 emit in the last, was it about 10 years? I'm sure it was 2013, so it might be 13 years, but we've had an X50 emit, but it wasn't facing Earth at all. It was off to the side. If that had been pointing at us, that would have been all she wrote. And if you think of the mathematical odds of that over a 25-day period, if it had emitted during them 7 days it's facing us, yeah. So it's not that outrageous to think there was a 1 in 4 chance of it being within that period. And we missed it, luckily. And that was potentially the last solar maximum we had, which people think we're in now. You don't know what your solar maximum is until you've passed it, because it's not an exact timing. Mm-mm. Eight is a strong one, yes. Any X class is quite rare in general, like day to day. If you look throughout like over periods of time, so X classes grab our attention. Low X classes, not much effect. Multiple, worrying. Larger ones, slightly worrying. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna fact check myself. Sorry. This is only telling me what's facing Earth. November 2003, we had an X 11.96. This is all Earth facing. 2017, we had an X 8.2. October 24, we had the X9. That's when everyone was seeing the Northern Lights down in the south of the UK, if you remember. And then obviously we've just had this X 8 point odd now. The largest solar flare coronal mass ejection was observed but not directed at Earth. Was in the July 2012 solar superstorm. So I was a year out. It was so they haven't given it a number on here, but it says it was a Carrington class event, meaning it was comparable in strength to an 1859 Carrington event, the most intense geomagnetic storm recorded in history. If it had occurred 9 days earlier when the sunspot was facing Earth, it could have caused immense damage to the global infrastructure. I'm sure that's the one that was like an X50 or something ridiculous like that. That was the estimations anyway. Other notable non-Earth directed events include in 1989, there was an X15 and an X6.5 while nearing the sun's limb, directed most of its material away from Earth. But again, if you cannibalize them too, you're looking at X20 odd. In April 2001, an X20 plus flare, one of the largest ever recorded, erupted southwest limb of the sun, largely missing Earth. So again, it's a roll of the dice when they admit there's no magical factor protecting us. There's no magical factor saying when they're going to shoot out. But you can read all these different events, and it's a matter of time, right? It's you spin the roulette wheel enough times, eventually it will land on green. I think it's difficult to say, Grumpy. There was recorded like sightings of the lights worldwide, right? Obviously at the time, because the geomagnetic storm lasts a while. It can last days. But obviously the only technology at the time was the telegraph, so it's only going to affect areas where the telegraph is. So it's a really difficult question because history from then is only a few written counts, right? So it's a matter of facing us. If we align perfectly, it's well, yeah, but I mean, it's a spread, right? So somebody put a diagram up on the Discord before, and it's like a spiral, and when it emits the CME, it's like coming round on the rotation, and that's when it smacks into Earth, kind of thing. But think of it as not. It's not a bullet. It's not a normal bullet. It's a shotgun blast, right? It's a spread. So we're in the firing line over a 7-day period, not just like here and then that's it, because it emits like a spread. So whilst it's moving across like the area it's at now and where it'll be for the next 5 days, then that's we're in the spread. Yeah. What are we waiting for? I don't know. What are we waiting for? Wasn't the one that got Canada long ago, 80s or so, caused power outages? Yes. Was that 89? Yeah, 1989. Not bad. The March 1989 geomagnetic storm occurred as part of severe to extreme solar storms. Yeah, that was when it was. But again, in comparison with things like the Carrington event, that was mild. That was like, you know, a drop in the ocean. Brian Keane, does space weather have effects on Earth's weather? Depends who you're listening to, depends what you think. Technically, officially, no. But every time we have bad solar storms, we also have extreme weather somewhere around the world. And I'm not talking like, oh, it's a coincidence because there's always extreme weather. It's literally within days every time. So if we look at this stuff that's now, if we get a big emission now or over the next few days, keep watching the weather. We see. But yeah, it's a difficult one. There's different schools of thoughts. Yes, that one, the 1989 one, they got Canada. Yes, Willow, sorry. Just joined. What does this all mean? Surely, this is a non-event. It's a watching. We're just having a chat, talking about the solar weather. So I do this monitoring all the time anyway. Especially when we've got activity like this. So I just thought I'd come on and have a chat with you all about it while it's going on. So it's difficult to schedule it as an event. The sun is not on a schedule, so it could be an event. Let's hope not. So the chances are slim, at least, of a mass power outage. I don't know. I mean, Mel, have a look. Just honestly, go nuts on DuckDuckGo or Google or whatever you use. Search it and search what the odds are and the percentages and stuff like that. And yeah, this is a more realistic, more likely scenario to happen than big metal cigar tubes flying over us and blowing up, you know. And what do you want the Faraday pouch for? If it's a CME, it won't affect small electronics. Yeah, it won't affect Faraday cages and Faraday pouches. That's for an EMP. Yeah, it's going to affect your mains. You can't put your house in a Faraday cage, so it's all mains electricity that we're going to affect. And the problem is the infrastructure we've got in the UK in parts of America, all over the world. The spare parts we did have, we've sent off to war-torn countries and stuff like that. It takes years to manufacture replacements and stuff if manufacturer's working. So the problem is not the power going off. The problem is getting the power back on and how much damage is done. There you go. Scientific, thank you, Miss Worm. Scientific estimates suggest there is approximately a 12% chance, or roughly 1 in 8 or 1 in 10 chance of a Carrington solar storm occurring within the next decade. I mean, a 1 in 8 and a 1 in 10 chance, you'd buy that lottery ticket, right? That's scary numbers when if you think about anything we prepare for that is an SHTF, a Teotihuacan situation, even with our crumbling infrastructure and risks to our power grid in regular life and the geopolitics going on in the world, that is still the highest percent chance of something this extreme happening. No need to protect power banks, anything like that. Nothing that's, unless it's plugged into the mains. Don't have it plugged in when it hits, is the main thing. Yeah. So it has to have a large aerial antenna surface area to capture the waves to damage it. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is all theoretical. And in general, that should be the rule of thumb. But who knows if it's an X100, if it doesn't fry even the small stuff, I have no idea. I don't think it will, technically, if we look at the physics we know about. But, you know, I think I'll still stick a few of my radios into the Faraday box if we knew it was coming, just in case, you know, the usual better safe than sorry. So... let's refresh this central image here. Oh, 2147. Super active, that. Look at the surround. Let's see if we can get a decent view of that activity. No. 2 minutes. I'm going to try and generate an image just of the active area over the last 12 hours. Okay. CME is a natural, slow-moving plasma outburst of the sun that has primarily damaged long-line power grids, E3 components. Conversely, EMPs are typically artificial bursts of nuclear damage. Exactly. 100%, Dora. That's exactly right. Bill, it's X45. I'll happily accept that. But there's different schools of thoughts, different scientists, and different assessments based on the Northern Lights and different recordings during that time. And some people think it could be as low as an X23, X24. Some people say it was like an X60. So X45 is a good medium in the middle, but generally it's unknown because we didn't have the way to record it. We were only basing it on what somebody pencil sketched and the reports of the Northern Lights and the brightness. So, I mean, it's definitely a good benchmark, but I wouldn't be sat here not worried if it was an X25 that had pointed towards us. So just take the numbers that you see on different websites with a pinch of salt, because there will be multiple that say different. Okay, let's see this. Cool. Right, let's download that. I'm just going to replace this video in this bottom right with a close-up of the activity on that point over the last 12 hours, so you can see the kind of movement we get in that period. That's the one. Oh, hang on. There you go. So that is here. There you go. So that's just the last 12 hours. That doesn't include the X-class flare, but you can see the kind of gathering, swirling energy that I'm talking about. It should not affect cars. An EMP should not affect cars. It's not a big enough aerial. Sorry, CME. An EMP would. A CME wouldn't. Any preps you would recommend in particular for Carrington type event, apart from the usual water, heating, food, etc.? Definitely smaller power banks for stuff that you potentially might have, like entertainment for kids and stuff like that. So like smaller power banks like this won't be affected at all as long as it's not plugged into the mains. So that will keep going. I've also got the portable solar panels to go with that, so I'll have some sort of power. One of the big preps that's overlooked, which everyone should have even if they're not a prepper, is fire safety with stuff like this. And it's about being vigilant when it's going on. So your solar storm will last over a period, powers will start to go off, things will overcharge, things will cut off, things will burst into flames, transformers will go, all sorts. So just making sure you have a plan to kind of get out of the house, even if you have to, for a day or two or for a while. Excuse me, got trapped wind because that caught. But fire safety, definitely fire safety stuff. Definitely some sort of backup power for batteries and stuff, radios, comms, everything like that. So if it's an EMP like 1 second after, then all that stuff goes out the window without a Faraday cage or a Faraday box, because it will fry all electronics, even the tiniest little things. Your cars will cut off the lot. If it's a CME, we are talking about things that are connected to the mains. The only way it's going to affect your car is if you've got an electric car and it's plugged in at the time. Yeah. It won't affect cars, guys. It will not affect cars. Unless your car has a 30-meter aerial hanging out the back of it, you should be all right. It's not. Its current level is C3.83. That's the lowest it's been in 48 hours. That's because I've started streaming, Justin. You know the crack. You've been here since day one. Not solar related, not solar CME related, but if we get an EMP, how quick do we get to drop our electronics in a Faraday pouch? 0 time. If you know there's a threat of it, then that's how much time you've got. As soon as an EMP goes off, the first thing you will know is when your technology goes off. Yeah. You might not even see a blast. It might not be a nuclear strike. It might be something above the atmosphere. You just be driving down and suddenly all the cars cut off. Or you're at home and suddenly all the technology goes off. There is no time to grab your stuff with an EMP unless you know missiles are flying and it's a potential thing to happen. There's no warning. There's no 12 hours like we get with a CME. It's just going to happen. So the way I work it is I have a metal ammunition tin, big old ammo tin like that. That has contingency stuff in there. So it's got radios that I don't need on a regular basis. It's got older phones that I can charge up. It's got a mesh node that I can take out of there. So it's about having that redundancy where you can put it in there and just leave it, set it and forget. But generally, like the phone you walk around with every day, your chance of you being able to get that into something in time, it's a non-starter really. One of my cars is a 1973 model, so should be safe. What happened? Yeah, definitely the old Beetles, the old Bugs, anything like that. Anything without the solenoids in and stuff, then you should be fine. Older cars are always better. That's my DeLorean bug then. That's a giant piece of steel, isn't it? What about EV cars that are plugged in and charging? They will be a flaming. I would hate to see the effect of that, Stuart. Genuinely, anything plugged in could be affected by the mains. And if you've ever seen an EV car fire, it does not go out. There could be some hellish fires going on with that case scenario. Hopefully, we have a competent government and system and warning system, and they'll shut the power down before it hits us, which would eliminate a lot of that risk. Not all of it, but it would eliminate a lot of that risk. Because if the power shuts off, you're not charging your car, right? A 91 VW Jetta. Nice. Tell me it's in white, Brian. Tell me it's a white one. Yes, please, this one. What's going on? I read one second after quite recently, scared the bejesus out of me. I thought surely the timeline was a bit off, societal collapse around day 7, but Google AI predicted about the same. Yeah, and we've always kind of home Edmund N ED mum of boys. I think that's right. Anyway, the timeline we've always predicted has kind of been based around that. And we're like, yeah, people will just be okay for now. And then we saw the power cuts in Spain. And it wasn't 3 or 4 days and people started fighting over stuff. It was 3 hours and they were fighting over the water in the shops. Don't underestimate how unprepared everybody else is, because that's the issue. Because they're so unprepared, the rush on the shops is a guarantee. Hopefully, it might be rescheduled due to circumstance, but hopefully we're doing a special podcast on Friday, either this Friday or next Friday. It's down to, I'll have to speak to Brian, on 1 second after. It will have spoilers, but we're going to discuss the entire book, how it's affected prepping, what's realistic, what's not, what we think is accurate, what we don't think. So we're going to do a full podcast on that one. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Blue Toon says, Miss Worm says, Mike has saved the day by doing a live stream. It is, honestly. My solar monitoring, as soon as I go live with it, the sun goes, whoa. I don't like it when he watches. So if I stop the live stream, you're all knackered. If I keep this live stream going, the sun will behave. Justin knows. Justin knows. Willow, it's a great read. It genuinely is. It's an extreme scenario. Again, a much smaller percentage chance of that happening than this, what we're talking about today. But it's a great read and it does make you rethink some prepping and stuff. See him out. Thank you for putting the Discord link in. Well, we'll have to pick a cut-off time at some point. I can't sit here all night, so it's definitely not playing ball. Well, it is playing ball. It's behaving. I was hoping to get the ASAP predictions up beforehand, but we're still at a 40% chance. You all should watch Still Game, the Lights Out episode. Watched it today. It's it's a good episode. I've seen all of Still Game. Mrs. Urban Prepper's Scottish, who introduced me to that. Quite a few SHTF situations in Still Game. Thermogrip soles, $9.99 Timpsons. You'd be wanting a pair of these. Keep watching. Keep going, Mike. My missus is watching a painting program, and I don't want to watch. Is it going to is she? That's dangerous though. When the missus watches the decorating program, because like a few days later, it's going to be. I quite like to change the color of this. Here's a brush. Crack on. Look at that filament out the right. Oof, toasty. Yeah, yeah, that's that one up there. Look at the brightness on 131. It's ready to blow. It's ready to blow. Curious how many streams you have done on Solar Flares Phenomenon. I used to do it quite regular. The thing is I get bored of me. I will run this while I'm working through the day. And I'll have constantly be on Helio Viewer, generating videos, checking it out, stuff like that. I've got a genuine interest in this. And I could stream it 24/7, but I don't like to do that because I like, a bit of diversity on the channel. Is that your way of saying you don't like it, Sambo? He said it's too much. Do we need to end? Yeah, they've done extreme heat and cold, no power. Can't think of any more. Brain tired. Well, they did they've done social disorder Bluetooth. If you think about when they had to make the park up on the balcony because the yobs had wrecked the park, kind of thing. That's technically another little SHTF they did. And obviously the Klansman closing down, that's a disaster. Or turning into a trendy wine bar. Yeah, that's another one. Gotta add you a telescope to your Amazon account, can't I? Do live stream. I'm doing live stream. Oh yeah, I mean, the solar telescopes, they're just ridiculous. Like, I'd love to get one, but there's a lovely one here for £15,535. You can get a cheaper one for 525. There's a £6,000 one. Yeah. It's a pretty penny if you wanted to do it that way. I can't. None of that's going on my wish list. I need a car, so I need to get a 7-seater car before September. So every penny's saving towards that now. At what point do I tell the wife we should be worried? Not at the moment. Nothing to worry about right now. Don't put fear into anyone that, you don't have to. We just monitor it, but I certainly will go live, send a video out, all that lot. If it happens, it genuinely, if it's gonna happen, I know I'm not gonna get any money off it. I know YouTube will be gone after the fact technically, but I will still get on and definitely warn you all, give you as much warning as possible. No, I'm enjoying, very fascinating. Cool. Awesome. Deal dog, that was funny. I think I know we're totally off topic talking about Still Game, but I think my favourite episode has got to be where they're trying to get the good bench in the park. I love that episode. Get a beetle, Mike. I'd love to get a beetle, but I can't fit my brood in there. I need a 7-seater for, I'll do live from a telescope, means what I mean. How much is that in US dollars? £1 is currently $1.37. So a £5,000 telescope would be like, yeah, $5,500, $6,000, whatever it works out at. I know it's off topic, but has any looked at this new Nipah virus doing the rounds? Some say it's going to be another COVID, but I haven't looked into it myself. I looked into it, Brian. I did look into it, because seeing if it's worth doing a video on, seeing if it's worth chasing up. It's been around for a long time, and there's been outbreaks over the last 20 years. There's been multiple outbreaks. There's been outbreaks and there's been deaths, and then it's got under control. And it's never been in the media. So right now, I'm not worried about it. I see it as another distraction because they're all talking about this case right now. What about the 5 people that died from it in 2003 in a different place? What about the other outbreaks of it? It's a long time. It just feels a bit like distraction tactics. So I will definitely keep one eye on it, but it's nothing. I don't think we have to worry about it at this stage. That's going to be one of those clips that might come back to haunt me, though. Stop breathing and you can get a small welcome, Ration Nerd. Always trust you to say the lovely, sensitive things. I'm an innocent victim, Ration Nerd. I'm an innocent victim. The Lord said, fill your quiver. No. Go forth and multiply. So I did. But this is the last one. Good deals on dusters, Mike. The dusters are not 7-seaters, as far as I was aware. Toon Prep, unless they do a bigger one now. Join the Daisy clans. To be honest, I've been looking at the Volvo XC90, which is a 7-seater, comes in a diesel. You can get a terrible one for about £3,000. You can get a good one for about £5,000. You can get a great one for about 6 or 7 grand. An older one, obviously, not a new one. So it's got a good scope. So I just see how much I can save, right? And it's just got to save like a maniac. This will be the last branded Coke Zero you see on the channel, because after today, it'll be Aldi's specials. Yeah, Willow. Yeah, seems to be an endemic in certain areas of South and Southeast Asia mainly. Yeah, like I say, once I was doing research into it, it's not like this new virus that popped up overnight, like the, scamdemic. But it's been ongoing for a while, and yeah, it's an issue. But I mean, if it was that much of an issue, we should have been looking at for the vaccinations 20 years ago. Anything to distract from what's going on around the world. Now, the chat's either stopped working or it's just stopped chatting. I can't scroll it anymore, and I don't know why. Where's that gone? There you go. This one came from the bat as well, yeah. Buy his Amazon wish list. Go to Amazon via this link and buy anything, and Mike gets a commission. I don't get commission via the wish list, Miss Worm. I don't think that works like that. The wish list is stuff for me. There's no cars on there. No, listen. Although I'd love to sit here and go, yeah, I'll send me money and buy me a car. No, not interested. If you want to send any money, Bradley Lowry Foundation, that's the charity we're raising money for. That's the only thing I want off you. That's all we need. That's all we need. Just the charity. I don't need anything. I will always find a way. But if we can support the charity, okay, that's awesome. Wait for SHCF nick a double decker. Do you know what, Bluetooth? I didn't know this, and I got told this the other day, so gap in my knowledge massively. I thought, oh, I'd love a double decker. I've seen like conversion plans you could do into like a house and stuff. And I'm like, you'd have to get a special driving license and stuff like that. You don't need the bus driving license. You don't need a heavy goods vehicle license once you've converted it to a camper. It's to do with the classification of vehicle. So it doesn't matter about the size. That's what I was told. So I could get a double decker bus and drive it. If it's not a bus, I'm not using it as a bus. Allegedly. That's the shop link. Cheers, Miss Worm. If a bus is over 30 year old, you can drive it on a car license. I was told, Mr. T and Dr. P, I was told it was the classification of it, and it was somebody that actually had one, because we were at the Midlands prep meet and somebody had this big kind of thing converted into a camper. I was like, oh, do you need like your special license for that? Because it's over 7.5 ton. No, because it's now classified as a camper. Like, oh, really? So. Well, nice. You've already got a license anyway. That's always a bonus. You can buy used rental cars and vans, used U-Hauls. Vans are expensive, man. I was looking at vans. Vans for a decent van, it's expensive. Right. we've got an upwards incline happening here on the recent data. So we'll give it a bit of time before we end it, because we know what's going to happen. As soon as Mike ends it, that's when the flare happens. It's not reloading the data past 2216 right now. But we've definitely got an upwards trend on the past 2 hours solar activity. I love driving the coaches. I drove the edge. It's something I always wanted to do. I'd love to do like long distance driving and stuff, but I should have took, when we had that driver shortage in the UK, I should have took advantage and got one of the free training courses at the time. But I've always done IT, done web development, and not being funny, AI is killing my industry. So I wish I had done it. Now, if I want to go for my license, you've got to pay the whole fortune. That was part of the reason to join the reserves, but that's a whole saga going on at the moment as well now. True, right. My friend brought a Damon Outlaw. They're as big as a truck. He got it classified as an RV instead of a motorhome and drives it on his car license. There you go. Thank you, Stephen, for confirming that. That's awesome. Mike's minibus. Mike's megabus. Thank you, Miss Worm. Appreciate you. I've already had like quite a few super chats in here, to be fair. This is you guys have been awesome anyway, so she's on the hard sell, Miss Worm, at the moment. She's selling it. Vans are pricey. They sell from rental companies. Flare incoming. Oh, look at that. We're going upwards again. Oh, look at that incline. What do we reckon? Place your bets now, please. M3, M4, X1. What do we think? What do we think? Do. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'd love a camper and stuff like that, but that's a luxury, Mr. T. I just need a 7-seater, and I think the Volvo's a good one because it's diesel, it's got plenty of room, can stick I'm gonna mount a proper cage rack on the top and stuff like that, automatic as well. So yeah, and if anybody there wins the pools, wins the lottery, wants to put $6,000 into PayPal for me, then feel free. But I wanted to do HGV or PSV, but I think it was my eyesight and expensive costs thwarted it. Yeah. We used to, because my parents used to have a tour company when I was young. We used to bring Americans over to the UK. We used to take people from the UK over to America, and it was all themed holidays and stuff. We used to bring reenactors over here, and I used to talk to coach drivers all the time. And the long distance coach drivers, they're brilliant. They're just a good laugh. They always have some sort of money making scam, not scam, but scheme going on the bus, whether it's selling drinks or snacks or what have you. But I mean, when we had with 40 Americans on each coach, at the end of the holiday, we'd put a hat round for a tip for the driver, and they would just put all whatever was left of English money in there. They'd get like nearly like £1,200, £1,300 tip off all the Americans that had been over there. It was awesome. That's the job I want. M159 current value. That got a slight tip forwards. As long as you're not carrying paying passengers. Summer 7-seaters, great car that can be had from 1,500, less to go wrong than the Volvo. Mercedes are a lot more expensive to fix than the Volvo, though. That's the issue, right? I used to have an old C180. Yeah, parts even for an older one like that. Nightmare. Cheers, Miss Worm. uh, what happened to the big hole in the sun? Where the sunspots combined. Heard a lot about it during the summer, but never heard what happened with it. Um, it the sunspots open and close all the time. It's it's molten kind of thing. So if I put the sunspot overlay on, you can see this one at the moment. That's the active region that we're monitoring. Is actually made up of 3 larger sunspots. Yeah, if they grow, they could merge into one. New ones can form, or they can close up. So yeah, they don't. Nothing's happened to them. They just they open and close a lot. Old Persia. I used to. Do you know what? You did used to like my Zaphiras. I had a Zaphira, a B class Zaphira, which is very 80s inside almost, and then I had a C class Zaphira. Both times was the SRI model, so it had some oomph. It had some get up and go. But I had nothing but problems with the DPF, and the clutches can go quite quickly on them. So yeah, if it came to it and it's a really strict budget, I'd look at a Zafira again, an older Zafira. At least I know I could do the work on it. You know, the Mocha out there, I've put all new brake discs on it, new brake pads, new gear linkage. So if it's something I can get my hands dirty with, I will. I just quite fancied the Volvo, to be fair. IKEA van, haha, build your own. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. I had a 2ML 270 CDI. And out of all 4x4s, it was cheapest to run service parts wise. Go for the Mark 1 version, makes changing headlight bulbs easy, revamped to 200 brake horsepower. Nice. ML270. Again, yeah, I've the track record of Mercedes costing a fortune. Still going up 1.77. Let's have a look at the 304 on the big screen. Let's see if we can get a newer one. No, 22, 23. We have a 7-seater. You know what? When I had the Zafira, I never used the 7 seats for family. The only time I ever used the 7 seats was for the football team. You squeeze 7 fully grown footballers into it. It's a nightmare, but I love the space. I could fit. I moved when I moved from a flat to a house, I moved everything with my Zafira. Literally, it was a lot of runs, but I could fit a couch in there, a fridge, everything, with a bit of rope and a bit of persuasion. Are you on commission for this Mercedes, Mr. T? I'm not getting a Mercedes. Not getting a Mercedes. It's just not happening. Something will go wrong and it'll cost me a fortune. Just know it. That's you don't understand Lucky Mike. People who have followed the channel for quite a while will understand why I'm skeptical to get anything that would rely on me having a bit of luck. It doesn't happen. Trying to look on the phone to this. Get a closer look at it. Oh yeah, it's leveling off now. Looks like it's an M2.1. Looks to have slightly leveled off. That one's slightly behind on the stream. There we go. 2.01. You see, it's started to level off. It's not done a silver or gold price on us and rocketed yet. Hello from South Wales, Wendy and David. No VW. Do you know what? I looked at the Turans when I was after a 7-seater before when I got the Zafira. I looked at the Turans, but they just weren't as space efficient as the Vauxhall was. We have a Zafira, never had any problems with it. You will. Give it time. So my first one I loved, but the previous owner was a little old dear who never went on the motorway with it, and it was diesel, and it had a diesel particulate filter. And if you never go on motorway or do any big miles like that, it never gets a chance to clean through, so it was clogged to hell, and even a garage couldn't get it sorted. Every so often, it would just be this bellowing black smoke. It looked like only fools and horses driving down the road. I have a 7-seater SUV, only me. Maybe we can barter something. I mean, yeah, the shipping cost alone, Dora, would probably knacker us there. Because you're in the States, right? You send me your 7-seater SUV. It costs more in shipping than buying a new one. But I'd definitely happily swap for something, yeah. Is it going to hit us tomorrow? We'll get the glancing blow from the X8 tomorrow, so we'll get the northern lights potentially. Depends how northern you are, obviously. So nothing detrimental with that one, though. No fear on that one at the moment. It's from now for the next 5 days. If we get another X8, X10, anything plus on that, that's when we start to do some assessments. We had that problems with that in other cars we've had. Yeah. Honestly, I was, if I'd have kept that, to be honest, I had a mate with a garage who could have removed the DPF, left the DPF container, so on a MOT inspection you could look underneath and it still looks like it's there, but it wouldn't be there. So you got to know some friendly people at a garage, but that was going to be my next step. I don't condone this in any way, shape or form. Do not do this, but that's the frustration it was getting me to. My sister owns a car auction in Ellesmere Port. I'll get her to keep an eye out for any bargains. Like, I mean, yeah, or to let her know if she wants to chuck me a car, I'll happily advertise the auction house every week on the channel. She wants to sponsor me with an SUV, then that's cool. I mean, Ellesmere Port's not far from me either. It's always overcast here. No chance to see the aurora. Yeah. Another Carrington, maybe. I mean, I hope this means you're hoping it's not and not hoping it is. We don't want a Carrington event. Part of my preps is not delivering a baby, all right? So I have to go at the garage tomorrow, same problem with particulate filter. I hope you have better luck than me. So the garage near where I used to live, in Bolton, the fire brigade came out because they had it in the yard and they were trying to blast it through with high revs, and it smoked that much. It was that bad that somebody called the fire brigade. Yes, it's leveling off. It's dropped as soon as you start to see that drop down again, but you can get like an up spike and an up spike, which is one of those things. What time are we at? 11 o'clock. How long have we been going? 2 hours. Wow. 2 hours of me yabbering rubbish. There you go. It's Mr. T's on the hard sell for this. I can't get any car right now, right? Genuinely. My savings at the moment are this number. Yeah. 0. So anything I make through the advertisements and stuff like that, I'm going to try and put that into a pot. So it's no point looking at Auto Trader now. It's going to be closer to, without some sort of miraculous De Niro situation, it's going to be closer to August when I get it. But I potentially, I've only got this house for 12 months, so I don't know if I'm going to have to get out of here at the same time. So we have to wait and see. This has turned it from solar watching to car hunting. Let me have a look at this thing. ML 270 CDI. Oh, it's Barbie's car. It's a Barbie's 4x4. Is that even a 7-seater? No. I prefer the Volvo, mate, to be honest. Even the looks wise. Hard pass from me. Hard pass. They even offer finance on it. Then when SHDF, don't worry about the finance. That's the problem, right? So I can't get finance on the next car because there's still 2 years left on. There's still like 46 months or not, 23 months left on the car that she's driving at the moment, which is in my name. So they won't let me get a second one because I took a 10 grand pay cut to get the job I've got now. So, shot myself in the foot. Watch those adverts, folks. Even better than watching the adverts, Miss Worm, is people with YouTube Premium. Because when they watch your videos, they don't see adverts, but you still get a commission as if the adverts are there. Get a tandem bike with sidecars. Yeah, that's going to be great for the 200 miles up to Scotland, Stuart. I've done it once. I'm not doing it again. Yep, it is starting to rise again. M2.2. So we've got a slight drop and then another upward inflection. Let's see what happens before we end. It looks very active. Let's get that 313 back up. Look at that. Look at 171. That view there, not everyone will understand, but that view there reminds me of Pitch Black. Riddick. That kind of view. That's what he sees. Yeah. You probably think he's talking rubbish, but somebody will get what I mean. Somebody will get it. I'm getting a headache now. It must be. It's not the solar flare, Wendy. It's my voice or David, whichever one it is, Wendy or David. Or it could be David who likes to eat Wendy's, like the burgers. I don't know. No, it's just listening to me for too long. Let's give you a headache. Mute me. I never get headaches. Could be could do with weather as well, right? High pressure. Listen, Mr. T, stop going on about the ML270. Unless you're going to order one, send it to my address. You're on the hard sell here. I'm not buying one. I can't. M2.2 24-hour max. X 72-hour max 8.1. Yeah. Your computer is running low on storage. We can create more space by deleting a previous version of Windows. Okay. We'll do that when I'm not streaming, computer. He's trying to sell his guy, yeah. We need a GoFundMe for Mike's ML. I'm not getting an ML. This is also confusing, but trying to learn C class, M class, X. It is going up, that one. M288. What's Amos saying? It's not moved. Miss Worm, you're an absolute wordsmith. You should write a book. My video keeps freezing up. Could it be solar related, disrupted phone service because I paid my phone bill? No, I don't think so. Not at this stage. Satellites maybe if we're starting to get the backlash of that 8.1 from the other day. I've been having internet issues for some reason. The other stream the other day was a bit pixely, so I apologise. You know, it's supposed to be like a terabyte internet, a gigabyte internet. But did a speed test and was getting 50 mega some at one point. I'm savouring this last caller. Savouring it. M288. Still not dropped below C then. Well, yeah, that's another bit of advice if we do have that major kind of thing in that 8 to 12 hours that you've got before, hopefully less, because hopefully the government will know and shut the power down. But you want to get to a cash machine and take cash out. Cash will hold its value for a little bit of time until people realize it's going to be worthless after a while. So, but as soon as the main power goes down, you ain't accessing any ATM or anything like that. Draw the cash out, Go to your local shops, get as much as you can with it. I'm not saying do that now, by the way. Nobody go and panic buy right now. M3.29. We're on the rise. It's exciting and scary at the same time. What's the knockoff cola? So I'll be getting like the Cola XX from Lidl, which is like 50p for a 2 litre bottle. This is just normal Coca-Cola Zero, but it's a luxury that has to be put on hold. Sat here now waiting for the power to go out. No, I'm not doing a 12-hour stream even if it did hit now. I'd be getting a warning out, I'd be sending messages out, and then I'd be off doing stuff. Similar to the blackout, if you watch the blackout scenario, I'd be doing similar stuff, filling the bath, filling containers, water supplies, security checks, ATM run, fueling the car. Don't forget the car will still work, but the fuel pumps won't. Maybe I should do the... If you did the blackout scenario based on a CME, it'd be pretty much the same. Do some more filming soon. That 131 in the top left corner looks interesting. Let's flip to 131. See what we're seeing from this. Latest. Oof. See how much brighter that went then? let's just wait and see what the... Calm down. Let's wait and see what the numbers say. Let's wait and see what the numbers say. Who wants a day off work tomorrow? Permanently. Good night, Scotty. Fueled the car this afternoon, doing the camper tomorrow. To be honest, I think I've only got about 200 miles left on my range because I've just got back. Oh, we've got a dip. That might be leveling off. But yeah, here's what it is at the moment. Cheers from across the pond, friends. May your night be blessed. And you, little red hen, thank you very much for joining me. Good night, God bless. I did a load of cooking today in case it went out tomorrow. My friends across the pond as well. I should be going on to Doomsday Queen's channel soon, in the next week or two, doing a interview over on her channel, which should be fun. Try and expand the global audience. Worried I need to eat everything in the morning. You don't need to eat everything. You might need to, you know, you've got a decent defrost time if you keep it closed. You've got a while, and then stuff stays fresh for a little bit after it's defrosted. And look at preserving. If it's all meats, cook them up and salt them. Is it like a tornado? Is what like a tornado? I'm lost here, Dora. Yes, please, but I still want pay. I'm confused. That's bright, that. Let's say 3 point. Go away. I have to get jars for meat preservation or just buy tins of ham. You don't need jars for meat preservation, so you can salt meat and you can put it into a container that way. You could literally bury it in salt, or you can just surface salt it and stuff like that. I got a 5 kilo bag of salt from from a place called Rogers, which sells out of date things because apparently, salt goes out of date. So I got a load of that, so that's in tubs, and I've got some extra of them white 5 litre tubs that I got from Amazon, which are actually really cool. So if I had to prep the meat in the freezer and cook it and stuff like that, I would layer salt in them tubs and seal the tubs. What time is it in the UK? It is 11:17 p.m. 23:17. Don't listen to them; they're all wrong. It's 23:18 now. Told a friend about your channel and the UKPN Discord. He was pretty interested and convinced prepping is a good idea. We have another recruit. Yes, Willow Tree. That's what it's all about. That's the only reason I still do a channel. I've had death threats, I've had all that lot, but because a few people have started prepping and told me they started prepping because of me, that keeps me going. Could just save one more person before somebody cuts all the power off. That's what matters. Anna from Kiev was amazing to hear her story. Yes, it was. It was really good. Is the flare moving like a tornado? Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to like. So anyone can see this, by the way. So if you just Google Helio Viewer, it used to be helioviewer.org, but they've lost the domain, so it's a random NASA.gov thing. You can go onto this, you can pick a timeline, you can generate videos, and just to watch the patterns of stuff swirling around and stuff, it is really cool. It's like loads of super tornadoes on the surface of the sun. It's actually really, really cool. Yes, I'm up late, Mark. I'm up late. Oh, you said who wants a day off? Yes, but I won't pay. I get you, right? Okay. You wouldn't get paid. If we had a day off because all the power had gone out, then I'm not sure how they'd pay you. Get some spam. Good evening, all from Penzance, Cornwall. Welcome, Aaron Llewellyn. There is a preppers meet in Cornwall. So I was down there last year. We'll see when it falls this year whether I'm going again, but good friend of mine, Jim Moss, runs that one. Good evening, Miss Worm. I seem to have a clone. Oh, Mark's Adventures 2.8. I've only just realised that. What's going on? See a fellow mod. Oh, is Arian Llewellyn from AP? Modern AP? Potentially. Okay, guys, I'm going to bail out. Drank too much beer last night, and I can't keep my eyes open any longer. Good night, everyone. Cheers, Brian Keane. Thanks for joining. Really do appreciate you. Trade prepper in the house. What have I missed? What's the chances of a flare hitting Earth? Was it 1 in 8, Miss Worm, on your copy and paste before? An 18% chance, technically. But right now, it's an extremely active region, as you can see in the center of that picture over there. Let's wiggle the mouse so you can see the mouse over here. Woo! And that's just gone very bright all of a sudden. We're on M3, M4, 8. So we're getting a couple of middle M class ones at the moment. We had an X8 the other day, but we're now Earth facing. I'm a mod of 6 YouTube channels so far, mainly paranormal channels. Ah, right, okay. 12%, there you go, 12% chance. In general, not right now. Right now, I feel like it's higher than 12, but in general, it's 12%. Well, Ariane, you've got to get yourself over to Discord and get involved, and, you know, Miss Worm can always use an extra pair of hands. I better unplug my phone charger, yeah. You've got to listen. Even if it happens now, you'll get to sleep and get up in the morning and power should still be on, or it shouldn't have hit by then. 65 watching now and 96 likes. Yeah, I've killed them off. There was 120 odd people in when they logged on and realized it wasn't a Prepper's Fireside and Brian wasn't on the screen. They just logged back off again. They're not interested in me. They use me for my firesides. Is there anybody there? Nighty-night prep's gonna sleep with my headache. Rest well, Wendy David. Oh. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if that's just gone off. Everything's just bonged. I can't see the chat anymore. Has it killed the stream? Testing. Can you got audio? The chat's disappeared on my. Oh, yep, I can hear myself. The chat's on here, but it's disappeared off my screen here. What is going on? Right. I've lost the chat. Let me whack this to one side. Pull up this. The things we do. Multiple explosions in Tehran and power outage across Iran. Great. It's all kicking off. 2 seconds. I can't see any of the chat, but I'm going to load. There we go. I'm going to load the chat onto here. Right. Okay, so I can see the chat again. Cut off at the bloody bottom. That's awkward. Ooh. That's not great, but I can see a bit of it. Right. I'm going to have to keep up with the chat on here because it's... Docs. Chat. Oh. Oh, it's back now. I don't know what is happening. Have you ever noticed that when the sun is active, Google Maps is way more buggy than usual? I drive around all day using Google Maps, and I've noticed correlation between delays and lagging maps and the sun. Yeah, interesting to check that timeline. Like like tomorrow and the 5th, it might be even more buggy. See if it's related to the interference between the satellites. We're dropping again. M2.84. My favorite genres of entertainment are paranormal and sci-fi. What's more sci-fi than this? What is more sci-fi than this? Come on. Brian the Eye Candy. I need to catch up on these comments because I missed them all before. Right, let's reload this. Let's see what's going on. If this drops back down to a C, that means it's bedtime. Whoa, look how bright that is. That's insane. Let's have a look at the 304. That is one Angry Sauron. Look at 171. Where's Riddick? Could load the Iran feed live feed as well. I'm just a junkie. Airwolf. Night Ride. It's not sci-fi. It's not sci-fi. Sliders. That's classic sci-fi. So, do you remember Sliders? Sliders. Not much brighter than Mike's gas camp stove fire. Well, when you hear and it goes up in flames, that's quite bright. Sliders is mental, yeah. Airwolf. Do you know what? I never watched Airwolf. I'll have to admit, never watched Airwolf. I like Knight Rider. Mike hasn't even done his Patrick Moore impression yet. Do I do a Patrick Moore impression? Just me sat here saving the world. Just doing a live stream so the sun doesn't shoot out anything. It behaves itself when I watch. Oh, the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together. That's my I used to like the A-Team and MASH. I know MASH isn't really. A-Team's not really sci-fi either, really. Yeah. Blue Thunder. Oh, showing our age here. Nice double M. Only watched Star Trek for 7 of 9. Again, MacGyver. I know all the jokes. I've seen it all on Family Guy, but never watched it. Yes, no, I agree. Not as good when without radar. Sapphire and Steel. That was a great sci-fi paranormal combination. Not seen MacGyver. Isn't MacGyver like, I'm gonna do this and just use a paperclip? What was the other one? Not Sliders. Oh, Dr. Sam Beckett. Come on, what was that one? Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap. That was another one. Ziggy would know what was going on right now. I had a model of the Romulan warbird. Took me ages to build. Geek. One Step Beyond, isn't that Madness? One step beyond. Copyright strike. Last of Us was alright, but I don't know, by the time I got to the end of the first series, I wasn't that fussed on it. I've not really picked it back up. Have you seen what's the Walking Dead spin-off? Fear is it Fear the Walking Dead? Took me a while to get into it because it was different characters, but it is good. I'll be TV free when I'm child free. So, never. This conversation's gone like completely. Just got an email. It was funny. I'll reply later. Sorry. John's distracting me. I like the Daryl Dixon one because it deals with Europe more and it's like medieval weapons, which I thought was quite funny. And I love that Stephen Merchant was in an episode because he's brilliant. Threads was scary. Probably not the best thing ever, but definitely eye opening. We've dropped data again, I think. Is that stopped producing there? Let's have a reload. That's stuck at the moment. So tired of people not paying attention. 1 hour a week would help people's safety, but they're too busy watching sports ball or checking out Kardashian butt pics. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't need refreshing. I've just checked on the live feed on the phone as well. And that's set at the same second. It'll drop to M1.44 now. Yeah. Ooh, that's not interacting at all. There we go. Give it a poke. V was good. Purple Elf V was very good. What number should we be concerned about if the sun is Earth facing? I wouldn't be overly concerned personally if it was X10 or below. If it's on its own, if it's surrounded by high M classes and lower X classes, like consecutively, then they can cannibalize, so that might cause a worry then. But just as an individual on its own, above a 10, I'd be thinking about stuff. 20 plus, I'd be unplugging stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's dropping back down. I'm gonna have to call it an evening soon. I think we've been on nearly 3 hours. Nearly 3 hours. I've savoured the cola. I've made it last for 3 hours. It's a record. Oh yeah, there's the roller cola that I'll be moving to. Freeway Cola XX. Look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. You ran live feed calling. I did that with the when it was all the rocket attacks. I had live feeds of stuff like that, but yeah, there's so many people doing it. I only do this because it interests me, you know. Yes, it is true. So during the solar cycles, the average temperatures drop down as well as the solar minimum, solar maximum. We're potentially in the solar maximum right now. You never know you're in it until after it's finished and the activity goes down. But it's probably one of the longest periods we've ever had in recorded without a sun spotless day. There's a metric somewhere. So spotless days are days where there's no sunspots at all. The last time we had a day without sunspots was 2022, and it was one day only. 2021, it was 64 days without sunspots. 2020, 208. 2019, 281. And you keep stepping back and you get back to 2015 where it was 0 again, then 1, then 0, 0, 2. This has been the longest since, I mean, I don't know when records began, but just glancing here, since 2006, we've never had 1, 2, 3, 4 years consecutively with sunspots every single day. See you, Dave. Thanks for popping by. Thank you for your super chat as well before, Dave. Really appreciate it. See you later, Mark. See you later, Blue Tune. Everyone's getting off. What time is it? You know what? I may as well go to the hour. 15 minutes. We'll do 15 more minutes unless it happens to be like peaking at that time. And then we'll call it. I'll shut it down at 12. Well, I'll shut the stream down at 12. I'm going to leave the monitoring on all night. which, you know, I could do with a few sun-spotless days just to save me the electricity money. Let's reload that. Let's check 3 or 4. See if we've got a newer image. Yes, join us, one of us. Mm-hmm. 15 minutes. 15 minutes, Dara. 15 minutes. That's how long I'm going to go for. I'm like that, but get up at 6. Like sometimes I've been sat here at like 3 a.m. when some of our American friends have gone live, and I've ended up joining theirs. Insomnia. I turn into a pumpkin at midnight. Does that mean you're a carriage? I mean, isn't it the carriage that turns into the pumpkin? 3:50 a.m. for work. Wow. What do you do? Are you a milk delivery person for the morning? That's an early start. You know what'll happen? 1 minute before midnight, it'll start spiking. It'll keep me there. What's going on? Oh, here we go. Somebody must have passed my details on to that Bristol film and TV making thing. I'll reply to them later. Mike on TV. We'll see what they say. Chef, of course. Rockstar chef. Hotel Marriott. Nice. The Marriott hotel I stayed in Texas. 95. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I always feel like so my granddad was the ultimate prepper. Lost him when I was young, and I always think of him as old, but he must have been very early 60s when he passed. It's no time at all, really. Oh. Let's look at my gran overnight, so I had to stay awake to put her on the commode, etc. Yeah, it's just because obviously when you're young, you just grandparents are just old, right? And it's only now when I think back, I'm like, wow, because my nan lived a lot longer than him. She lived with us for years. She passed during the cough, cough, sneeze, jab, jab times. But yeah, he must have been in his 60s. He was in a tank in World War II. Got shot through the armpit opening a tank door, my granddad. 56 on the 7th of March, so I'm an 80s kid. Is that 80s? That can't be 80s. That must be 70s. I'm 84. 1984. And yeah, I suppose technically I was a 90s kid, so if it's the era you're growing up in, I guess you're saying. Yeah, 1984. That's how I was born. Just turned 38. It's a young one. No worries, Tez. Cheers for popping by. I meant 80s is my decade. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I like to say 90s, 90s, best music, good movies. Grew up on Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Gotta love it. 7th of March, 1970. I was a June baby. A June baby. I'll be back. Yeah, I mean, I've got all his books up here. That's a great book, by the way. No camera. I know. Yeah, Steve, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I miss Blockbuster rentals, not this Netflix crap. Yeah. Oh, listen, the kids don't know. They'll never have that memory of parents saying, "We can go to Blockbuster and you can pick something," and then you'd end up fighting with your brother because you could only pick one film. But it was still just the experience of going there, picking something, getting it home, snacks, all that lot. now the can you imagine trying to put it on for the kids now, where they had to watch the previews on the tape before, skip adverts now. Everything's on demand. 1.08 now. Yeah, we're dropping off. It was either Arnie or Van Damme. I liked Van Damme because I loved like the original Universal Soldier, but he went down that Steven Seagal route of I will just do any movie that you will give me money for. It doesn't matter how terrible the script is. At least like to a degree, there's some bad ones, but to a degree, at least Bruce Willis, Arnie, Stallone didn't sell out completely. I have a Blockbusters game show. Gives a PB. Give me a P, please, Bob. I remember renting my video recorder as well. Wow. My stepdad had the double video recorder. So it'd be like, that goes in there, the blank goes in there. Don't condone it. Convenience killed skills, 100%. 100%. The Die Hard movies. Yes, Stephen. Yes, Stephen. Christmas movies. Agreed. Almost finished 1 second after book. Looking forward to the film. We're going to do a podcast on the books soon. We're going to do an episode where we talk about them and how realistic, etc. Blah blah blah. I'm worried about the film. I love the actor. Anybody who saw Lost, he was Sawyer from Lost. He's been in a lot of things, but they always wreck it, right? It's never going to be as detailed and as extensive as the book, so it'll be. We'll see. We'll see. I will watch it. I'm hoping it's good, but they'll probably ruin it. Yay! We're down to C9.69. Get in. We're gonna live. We're gonna live. I love the Rambo and Rocky films. Yeah, all apart from Rocky 5. That was not great. Rocky 3 wasn't all that great. Rocky 4 was my favourite, I think. Ivan Drago. 1, 2, and 4. Countdown. The Val. 1 from the top, 4 from anywhere else. Please, please. Solar Hams, yeah, it's pretty good. I like the tools I use because I've got all the extra stuff that I can do, and I can play. Solar Ham's great for a glance. I do use it to quickly glance at stuff, but it doesn't let me grab the sun and rotate it around in 3D and do all that wonderful things. Mm-mm-mm. 15-1 on Channel 5, yeah. It wasn't 15-1 on Channel 4? I really want to say it was on Channel 4. If they keep to the first book, it should be good. Well, yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I'm hopeful living. I'm hopeful. Never seen a Rocky film? How very dare you? It's worth it just for the soundtrack. Worth it just for the soundtrack. I was an 80s kid. Can I talk about some great... Do you know what? As much as I love like the muscle-bound action stars, as it were, like Arnie and stuff like that, Sucker for a Tom Cruise film. Genuinely a sucker for a Tom Cruise film. Top Gun, Cocktail, great films. Can't remember what was the one where he was a race car driver. Brain's gone. Days of Thunder. That was one. Alien Terminator was my childhood. X-Files with Fox and Mulder. This could be a case for Mulder and Scully. X-Files. There's only one. See, I watched all these different horror films as a kid. Didn't bother me. Now, Eugene Toombs on the X-Files. If you're an X-Files fan, you'll know Eugene Toombs, the stretchy guy. That freaked me out as a kid. For some reason, it freaked me out for about a week. Yes, it is. It is, unfortunately. He'll always be a legend, though. He'll always be a legend. Y'all got me talking. It's past 12. What's going on? My favorite X-Files episode was Fire. Very sad afterwards. It seems like a nice guy. Pet Cemetery messed my head up when I was young. Pet Cemetery was great. Pet Cemeteries are great. There's multiple Pet Cemeteries, right? It's one of those over-sequeled things as well. Right. I am going to go. It's 12 o'clock. It is now tomorrow. Today. Not yesterday. Now. I know what I mean. So, yeah, I've got work in the morning. Hopefully, the sun will be nice and calm. And I will definitely keep you updated if there's any changes to that. But other than that, thanks for joining me, guys. Thank you for all the support in the chat. Any donations that have come through and stuff. I've not checked on anything else, but loads of ways you can support me in all the videos. Really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in another one. Let's see if this outro works on this this software. So, bye. Oh yeah, big thank you to Miss Worm for moderating for like a ridiculous amount of hours. You're awesome. See you later.